For plebs, by plebs, dropping the Bitcoin only signal. Pleb Underground. Welcome everyone to the Pleb Underground.
Pleb Underground, bed, 114th review. Each of these lines shared from me. You like each one written, paired, and see through. Who do I write for? Ted, it be who? You need contrast, pleasure against the pain. Weather the storm, come tut against the rain. Flip, reverse here, and cut against the grain. How will you do freedom? A butt against the gain. The real pandemic, many hundred, KOD. Give thanks to he, grow KOD. Stack a few sats, you okay? Go B. She lasts a few rounds with my KOD. Nigh PQ determine what's fated. Sigh, BQ'd, hands not perspirated. Fly EQ, but life's complicated. High IQ, so it's comic plated. Each one's a solo, strap on the fender. Some hit hard like that late night bender. 100k soon, maybe. Release ICO Fender. What's your legacy if you return to sender? You took the orange pill, but now you need more. You hear outside advice still, but never heed. Pour your life and soul in until you have to bleed for. I write by the windowsill, I rarely read chore. Some born great, no choice but to succeed or. None moderate, can't be mid, exceed soar. Scrum, procreate, so a few to succeed for. Red rum, incinerate, underground, exceed or.
Walton, straight fire. Absolutely loved it. Guys, joining us today on another weekly episode of Pleb Underground, we've got the co-founder, CEO, and the maker of memes on Twitter. That's right. We've got Coinjoined Chris, or Chris. That's right. He is the co-founder and CEO of @Seedor and @Bitsurance. I think I did the same thing last week where I just said co-founder and CEO.
Twitter, like that
just
makes
does
sense.
it all, man.
Yeah.
Does it all. See, Chris, you don't have to feel bad. Anyways,
co-founder,
welcome
CEO
to the show, man. Of Bitcoin, right? The whole entire thing. Yeah, it's okay. I did this last week too. I try to do these grandiose introductions, and as you can see, they fail. They fail.
We stay humble. That's the lesson here.
But dude, we're absolutely honored to have you join us on the show. It's going to be a great episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Sweet. All right, let's do it, guys. We are moving it on over to the numbers.
Yeah, the numbers, of course, brought to us by Time Chain Stats and Time Chain Calendar. Phil, what do the numbers look like this week?
At the time of this recording, the block height is 872,500. The Bitcoin fiat exchange, 97,197. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, good number. I don't know why. It's a good number. All right, so Big Max to BTC, 18,873. That's disgusting. Anyways, total public lightning capacity, 5,285. That's right. Look at that. Somehow all that Bitcoin just seems to be staying in lightning. Huh, interesting. It's almost like it works. Fastest fee, 13 sats per VByte, and Moscow time. Somehow you're getting less sats than you were the last week when we recorded, getting 1,028 sats. For Moscow time. I think last week was 1,032.
Time Chain Calendar is currently claiming 1,029. So, like, yeah, it's dropped a little bit. Yeah.
So who's off? Who's wrong?
No, the thing is, there is no price, right? There is an exchange rate in different places, and some people are using some different sort of algorithm to kind of average it out and say, what the price is.
I appreciate that take. Chris, what do you think? Is there no price? Walton gets very philosophical.
It's philosophical, but like last week we recorded
it's literally like logical, factual. There's nothing philosophical about this.
We were hoping to see like 100K. That's like just a lot of people. That's a special number. I haven't checked like a price chart in like 6 years or so. Like was the first time last week to look again, and like we are looking at I think like 1,006 Moscow time was the lowest we had. Like it was edging at like 100,000, but we didn't make it.
Chris, when did you first get into Bitcoin? We'll probably get into it, a bit more of your history in the next section. But when Bitcoin for context?
So I had my first Bitcoins really early on, like in 2011, and then I sold them, and then I got them back, or I bought fewer back in 2013, and I sold them again. And like in 2017, I think it made click. Like after all of those shitcoins, I figured out like maybe reduce it. I was not Bitcoin only like in 2017, 2018. It took a few more toxic maxis to get me on the right track. ever since. I try to also provide value in the Bitcoin community, and I try to only save in this currency if I had any. Like, I don't know if people assume I don't have Bitcoin.
So
None of us
Chris
have Bitcoin.
hasn't checked the price for 6 years because he's too far beyond it at this point. Congrats on your retirement, sir.
I mean, there used to be a time where I like woke up in the morning, I looked at it, and like that is not healthy behavior. I don't think. And I just
what if you just can't help but see it? What if it just appears to you as you're lifting up the screen, as you're changing tabs? Right? What if you're changing tabs and the price appears? Is that unhealthy? And then what if you stay on that tab the whole day? What if? Like, is that unhealthy? I'm just asking for a friend.
On your lock screen. You can have it on your lock screen, right? Like in 3 different currencies, and then you don't have to like check it. You just have to like, you just glance at it. There's no like, proper activity.
I'm not a doctor.
What's the range? What's the range of unhealthy? I just want to know.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to understand for me, really. I'm going to say it's for a friend, but it's really for me.
Are you trading or not? I think is how I look at it. Like if you're checking the price all the time because you're trading, then I don't think it's very healthy. Like
that's awful.
Like if you're checking the price all the time, like why? Like I guess is the reason. Like it's more about what behavior is driving that. There are certain behaviors that drive that aren't good, probably because you're in some sort of leverage position or you're borrowing against Bitcoin, or do you know what I mean? Where like actually the price gives you additional risk. Otherwise, like, it's just a spectator sport.
And right there is what it's all about. Spectator sports. All right, let's dive into the numbers article, shall we? Let's take a look at what we got. Okay, this got shared by fellow Bitcoiners, Cy, so I figured, let's show it for the numbers. This is kind of interesting, right? This company that I never heard of, but I'm going to pretend that I know. Booyah Interactive swaps 14,200 ETH for 515 BTC, boosting reserves to 3,183 Bitcoin. Right? That's right, booyah. But what I think
seems like a good trade. Look, getting rid of Ethereum and getting Bitcoin. Like what? Name me a better trade, sir.
Right. But really, what I find comical about this whole thing is that did they actually think that they were holding ETH as a reserve?
Yeah, I was wondering. Like, is there a list of companies that hold ETH, and can I short those companies?
That's right. That's exactly it. Man, you nailed it. Okay. So yeah, that was that article. Moving on. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, Bitcoin Archive. Here we go, guys. I know we don't care about the numbers, but all of this is adoption. All of this is part of hyper Bitcoinization, whether we give a shit about it or not. Here we go. Spot Bitcoin ETFs by record 6.2 billion of Bitcoin. There you go in November. So maybe it wasn't October exactly, because really it was the last 3 days of October that it started to move higher. But November has seemed to begun to at least turn heads, not melt faces, but turn. So what would you say? Turn heads? We're not at melt faces, that's for sure. But turn heads.
Are we not at melt faces?
I don't think so. I think we're at turn heads, open eyes, maybe, but not melt faces.
Fucking 99.
No one's paying attention.
It's not melt faces.
No one's paying attention.
No one's paying attention though, man. For real.
I went into like this convenience store near me, like, and this is like, and the guy that runs it is someone I've talked to about Bitcoin for a couple of years, like on and off, like little conversations here and there. And he's always like, I'll buy some sometime soon. I'm like, okay, what? Like, I don't really care. It's like, it's just like it's my little market indicator of some random normie, like that's, whatever. And I go in like last week and I'm like, how's it going? He's like, how's it going? And I'm like, I don't know if you know, Bitcoin's been doing quite well recently. He's like, what's it at? Like £20,000? I'm like, no, sir, it's nearly £80,000. He's like, what? Like these people will wake up in the lots of normies get woken up by price appreciation, right? Like I
agree.
That's not what kind of woke me up to Bitcoin. Like, but it is what kind of wakes up a lot of people, I think, or at least it can be kind of one of the touch points, right? You have to have kind of heard about the some appreciation to have, I think, decide that you're going to maybe try and get the same thing.
I have to fully admit, I got into Bitcoin because purely a number go up. Like I'm a dumb engineer. I thought like my money, where do I invest? And then I saw I missed out on all those gains when I sold my Bitcoin like in 2011. And like I came for number go up. I didn't stay for number go up. I like number go up still, but like I stayed for like the sovereignty
The
and the
revolution.
freedom and the fuck you way of paying something. That is what I like about Bitcoin. But my indicators are like
Bro,
off
it's
the
so
charts.
cool. Every
Like
time
people,
you make a Bitcoin transaction, you're like, what the fuck? Like, literally, I just did this. Like, no one can stop me. Like, this is fucking cool. This is so fucking cool.
yeah. But going back to your point that your indicator, your normie indicator, the guy in the bodega doesn't know about Bitcoin. My WhatsApp, like people come to me and say like, oh man, Chris, why didn't you convince me harder? Like I'm at fault
Oh,
now.
this is your fault.
Yeah. Remember when you talked to me about Bitcoin? And I remember that distinctively, like multiple times, and you didn't buy then. Like, why didn't you do it harder? Like, what the fuck are you on about?
That is some
like,
weak
I don't know.
shit. I've had it, dude. I hate that. That is right there. Like that is just some, like take some personal responsibility for not. You know what I mean? Like nobody sat there and sold it to me. Nobody spent hours and hours. I see a lot of Bitcoiners. In all fairness, right? Spending a lot of time, and I appreciate what they're doing. I'm not downplaying it. They spend a lot of time educating noobs, asking that, and I'm very sorry, that are just being fucking lazy. Okay, you can go look up all of this stuff, and in all fairness, like I said, there's nothing wrong with this. It's really good, but you know, when you're putting more effort than the person is putting in themselves, all of that extra effort is in vain. It truly is in vain. So until that person has their own aha moment and they genuinely want to learn, it's you're just kind of like force feeding them, and they don't want to be force fed. Anyways.
Yeah. I put more effort into relatives, I would say, like people that are closer
people
to
you
me.
genuinely care about.
That's the only ones that I do, really.
Yeah. The other ones, like I do ride sharing. I take people in my car to different places, and then like not on the first 30 minutes, but like as soon as we're on the road and they can't open the door, like the conversation inevitably,
when
like
you like lock them in, you're on the highway for a while, like you have their captive attention.
They can't
like,
go anywhere.
Listen
oh,
up,
and
bitch,
they mentioned gas prices. They mentioned the gas prices, and then like I talked to them about Bitcoin, like,
you're
and
like,
I just tried to
shitcoin. Don't use Ethereum. Like gas prices are always going to be terrible. Use Bitcoin. Have you heard about the mempool?
I think when they come up with gas prices, they're not talking about Ethereum strictly, but like just
I know
like gasoline. But I try to show as many people the ARK because I fully believe that there will be a point in time where people are so jealous of us that they will be angry, and then at least have like this body of work where I can point to and say like I tried at least to get you on, like I showed you, like maybe
when you
kill
say
me
the
last.
ARK, you're not referencing ARK, right? Like because now there's like 2 ARKs as well, and it gets
That's
very
right.
complicated. You just mean the ARK that is the Bitcoin lifeboat.
Okay, I talked to Alex from ARK, like very interesting, but I don't pitch ARK or Lightning or like all these different concepts to like normies. When I talk to them about Bitcoin, I show them like, oh, here's the Blink wallet and there is Lightning behind it. Like, but that to me is like Bitcoin for you. Like, I'm not gonna go into protocol detail. Like,
all right, why Blink wallet? Okay. Like, just for normies, just before we move on to the next section, why is Blink wallet the wallet you're using when you're trying to onboard noobs?
So I know the people behind it. Shout out to Kemal. But like in a perfect world, I would help him set up like a node and Zeus and like self-custodial or like a Phoenix wallet. But Phoenix only makes sense if like sending $50. When I do ride sharing, they pay me like $10 to go from Luxembourg to Munich. And I give them like, they give me 10 in cash. I give them $10 back in like Lightning. And I can't recommend like Wallet of Satoshi. But Blink, like, solid company, and what people like about it, like first off, there's some education in there, like if they want to learn more, they learn more about Bitcoin. And then pains me to say it, but Stablesats is like a very convincing argument. Oh, you don't want Bitcoin, like you can hedge against it and you can swap in and swap out and like just don't lose your phone number and then you're good.
So wait, is that like a Fedimint type of competitor?
Oh, Tony's cooking. Tony Klaus, Stablesats. It's basically a Bitcoin dollar position in a Lightning channel. But
interesting.
Yeah,
so
just I'm talking to Tony.
Okay.
Yeah, every time you switch out like Bitcoin for like fiat, you can hold like a dollar amount, a fixed dollar amount. They go a short position on Bitcoin. Like the only possible scenario that they can wipe out if like Bitcoin does the Omega candle and like we have like 100,000 whatever or $10,000 price movement in like a very short amount of time. So it's a way for like smaller merchants like in the global south to have like Bitcoin and still like swap in, swap out like certain amounts into like a stable fiat reserve for which they then can pay whatever like the things that they buy and sell, and they have to have like a reserve in that. But yeah, I like Blink Wallet because it's easy and it's not run by shitcoiners.
I like that. I really appreciate that. Okay, we're gonna take a look at one last article for the numbers before we move on. Okay, maybe it should be in Hopium, but whatever. We're gonna put it in the numbers because whatever, because life. Bitcoin has hit 100K somewhere. I'm talking about in terms of USD value, and that is right there, the CME futures. So there you go, guys. Bitcoin has hit 100K. You just don't know it.
In the future.
In the future.
Some shitcoin nonsense, Phil.
And you know, I know, but as soon as I saw that, all I could think of was the bitches in the future. I'm sorry, can't help it. Okay, anyways, I know this. Whatever, it's Pleb Underground. Deal with it. You could just click and move on. You don't even have to watch this. Okay, all right, that's it. That's gonna wrap up the numbers, guys, and we are gonna move it on over to the Fireside chat. But before we do, a word from our sponsor.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Pleb Underground is brought to you by KnowHue. Go check them out at knowhue.com. They are building Amazon for Bitcoiners, a one-stop shop for Bitcoin-only brands. New brands are going to be added every month, so go check them out. Don't miss what's happening at knowhue.com. Pleb Underground is brought to you by CypherSafe. You guys all know I am a pet rock enjoyer. Love the swag, love the collectibles. This is the ultimate Bitcoin collectible. That's right, guys. We're talking 16 ounces of solid titanium, the Bitcoin Rolo Triangle. Go check it out at cyphersafe.io. Pleb Underground is brought to you by ThunderFunder. Go check them out at thunderfunder.com. ThunderFunder is a funding portal registered with the SEC and a member of FINRA. Their mission is to provide retail investors access to investments while supporting the growth of open source projects. They love Bitcoin. Check out their shitcoins. Thunderfunder.com. Welcome back, everyone. That's right. We've got Coinjoined Chris here, okay? And he is the co-founder and CEO, not of Bitcoin, but of Seedor and Bitsurance. And we are going to dive into that. Walton knows that I always need to hear the rabbit hole story, but you already gave it, so I'm going to spare everybody the rabbit hole story, and we could just dive right in. So I got to ask, because for me, it's very interesting when people choose seed plates as the hardware that they're going to do. Because it doesn't seem like, in all fairness, it just doesn't seem like there's very much to it, right? Mm-hmm. But as we've learned in Bitcoin, okay, somehow we can take these things and we can improve upon them. So, and I think you've done that with Seedor. So talk to us about it, man. Why did you go in this path? Tell us the deal.
Okay, so I like Bitcoin. I don't like losing Bitcoin. And I thought, put your recovery seed phrase on something that does not get destroyed easily. Because I lived in an area in Germany. There was a very big flooding, and I lost my birth certificate, like a piece of paper that proves that I'm alive.
Seed plates don't sink?
Seed plates sink, but they do not corrode. And like when I was looking for my stuff, like I had a ton of like tools and ton of stuff missing. I could not find my birth certificate, and I thought like, yeah, paper is nice. It's offline. It's not like gonna like be hacked, but like there are certain disadvantages.
Go back,
and, like,
go back. I want to see D's nuts. Go back. There we go.
We asked him to answer the question though. Oh, you want to see D's nuts? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. It's just like a set of washers inside a stainless steel capsule, and it's the same alloy, so there's no galvanic corrosions. And there's like 74 different competitors that do something similar in steel. I'm an engineer. 74. I looked at all of them, and I was not satisfied. And I designed this for myself. I said like, okay, I want to improve on this. I designed this for myself. And together with my business partner, Ihan, we launched Seedor. And I was very much convinced that there are enough crazy people thinking like me so that there would be a market. Turns out 2 years later, it is actually a Bitcoin job that I have now. Like I can live off these steel capsules. Like I'm a mechanical engineer. I was super proud. I worked at the university. I worked on rockets. I worked on the Ariane 6 rocket. But when I kick the bucket, when I'm dead, like this is the thing that will, be my legacy. I guarantee you that this tiny steel capsule.
Oh man, I absolutely love it.
What's the melting point of steel?
The melting point of steel. So we have a melting area. It's not just a melting point, and it depends
because it's a
on
mixture. Yeah.
It depends on like the components. So that we have molybdenum against the corrosion, and there's 316L. L means like low carbon. So we have 1,400 degrees centigrade. Above that, there's like a melting area between 1,400 and 1,450. A house fire is like at 1,100 degrees centigrade or 1,200, the most. Like jet fuel can't melt steel beams, but stainless steel should survive that easily. And there's like different ways to do this, and I think this is like a smart way. But you be the judge.
So I'm just, as you're explaining this, I'm thinking, did Jameson Lopp test this out? Because I remember he does this thing where he tests out all these different hardware wallets.
I used to recommend everyone that, Phil. I used to send everyone to that website, and I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore, Phil.
But I have to ask, because he is the only person that still does that, right? So
I still
have a hard place, Walton.
I have a stone in my heart for Jameson. He's a great guy. I met him multiple times, and like we had nice dinner. Like he's great, but he doesn't do steel wallet testing anymore since 2021 or so, or 2020. Like he's not going to renew those. But he says he can tell by looking, and he gave me the thumb. And I think I'm the proud owner of the only picture to ever be taken with Jameson Lopp smiling, because he gave me like, and like, have you seen a picture of him smiling? No, nope. I have it. Like it's on our Twitter feed. I will send it to you. So I count this as a approval of Seedor, but yeah.
Okay, I mean, look, I would take that as well, especially since he doesn't do it anymore. I would say that's valid. Very cool.
So Seedor is Taproot Wizards approved. That's cool.
Taproot Wizards approved. Okay, I have to break a lance for Jameson Lopp. He is only part of Taproot Wizards because they give him the blue check because he does not want to give out his phone number. That's it. Like he's not working there. Like he's not doing anything.
Look at this inside scoop.
So let's shill some shitcoinery so you don't have to give out your phone number.
Is he shilling?
Listen, Walton isn't going to let you win.
I would have assumed that you hate him because he's
platforming it in the same way that like Casa like platforms Ethereum by providing.
I thought that was your
grudge
with them. Like I fully get that. I thought like Ethereum.
Taproot Wizards. Like,
okay, so look, guys, this is a call to action. Any Bitcoiner that wants to become the dude that tests this stuff, this is your moment, right? The vacuum needs to be filled. It's a call to action for any Bitcoiner who wants to become that dude.
Over there being like, Phil, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, well, let's not get into that because we've never had British HODL on this show. So.
Wait, what? I said BTC sessions.
Yeah,
what?
I know. Yeah, and he had British HODL on the show.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm just saying.
I'm surprised he fit.
It all gets very murky, okay? The waters get very murky. Anyways, but okay. Moving on from our shit talking, and so let me ask you this. I mean, is this like what is the further like? Is there any further innovation that you're working on in Seedor?
Yeah, I try to keep up with demand. Like I can't.
Okay, so it's at this point it's manufacturing. Okay, that's awesome. Actually, that's fantastic.
So I used to trade shitcoins like in 2016, 2017. I had like a big like, oh, this is the next big thing. Like, oh, IOTA, like Ripe blocks, all this shit. I got burned many times, and I would have dragged my left nut through like broken shards of glass for this alpha that I have that I'm giving you now. I just look in my shop. And I see like the sales of steel wallets. Like if people buy a steel wallet and we have like a premium product, like there's this set of Bitcoiners, and then there's like Bitcoiners that have Bitcoin in self-custody, and then Bitcoiners that don't have like a software or phone wallet, but like actually hardware signer. And then there's a subset of that uses a steel backup, and a subset of that goes to like the hardware store and does the DIY version. And then again, 74 competitors, and I only see like I control 0.3% of the market. I don't know, but I see those sales and I think like, what is fucking happening? And I could see this last year, like around October, November, December, when the price was not moving that much. And then like January, February, I think in March, we had like the all-time high again. And I knew that like a quarter year ahead, because just like this price signal, like when people are interested in self-custody and are willing to pay for like the best product, like that is true alpha. So, and we're fucking sold out.
I have to tell you this: I've purchased a few different steel plates, so to speak, right? And I'm looking at yours, and I'm like, you know what? I do not have this one yet, so I am very interested in this, and I did just get a new hardware wallet set up. So sorry, signing device set up. Walton gives me crap when I say the wrong thing. New signing device set up. So I know that I don't need a new piece of steel for this, but I know that I'm the kind of person I like to have separate, separate seed plates for each one. So it's pretty much, it's almost every hardware wallet you get, you end up keeping a separate seed plate for it. That's right, guys. Paper is not good enough. I know that it's fun that you get the little flimsy card with the the signing device, but it's just not enough.
Yeah. Arguing against myself, you could theoretically use BIP85 child keys, only have one super secure stainless steel, whatever backup, and then you have child keys. So if you want to keep it low budget, perfectly fine. But you can just slide on my DMs. Come on, like your pleb underground. And what is unique with Seedor, we can do like custom versions. Like I can laser engrave a logo on the fucking shell. Like, can we swear on this program? I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, it's okay. We just talked all kinds of smack and stuff. Don't worry about it. Of course we could swear.
I thought this was PG-13.
No,
I can do a pleb underground just for you, like a one-off, and I will ship one even to like Florida man across the pond.
All right, you're making this very difficult for me not to slide into your DMs. So this is what's happening.
Don't we already have one of these like guys as a sponsor? Like you're gonna get in trouble here.
We do. CypherSafe he's gonna give us hell, but like at the same time,
they get in the ring. They're like,
that's it. We'll bring them both on. Yeah, because CypherSafe is one of our sponsors, and he's been making seed plates for a very long time. But in all fairness, right?
He makes the square ones, right? Not the round ones.
That's right. He makes the square ones. It's not the same type, so it's completely different. It's a totally different market. Some people want the square nuts, right? And other people want the flat plate. So not the same. There you go. I've created this rationalization to make myself feel better. Anyways, moving on. We're moving on. Okay, talk to us about Bitsurance. I was looking at this, and
is this the like pleb version of Anchorwatch?
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Because we had Rob Hamilton on last week, and we are
the ATAQ approach. And Rob Hamilton, I'm calling you out now. You have to step lightly, because he tries to say we are the first to insure. Every time Anchorwatch, we are the first. You're not the first, and he knows that. And if you read carefully, I mean, he's well aware. I'm coming for you. Rebecca, Rob, I'm coming for you. So we have been insuring Bitcoin in self-custody since last year in October. So we are by far the first. They just got like their Lloyd's syndicate, like their underwriter now.
Where are you insuring first, sir? In which countries? In Germany. See, what happens is Americans think that like nowhere else in the world counts. Like it's pretty much the American mind could not comprehend that it happened somewhere else first. Just like ETFs, just like basically everything. But,
whoa. What are you doing?
I get that. I mean, if you travel the globe and literally everybody greets you in your mother tongue, I mean, British people as well. Like this fills you with like a certain level of overconfidence or something. I get that. But again, insurance.
No, that's it.
The Bitcoin insurance. We've been around, and we are like. I talked to a few people, and I love what Rob is doing with the mini script.
Okay.
He has like.
Hold on.
It's pretty. That's pretty fucking cool in fairness, right?
We're pausing. Who actually chooses Ledger?
Do you
just like what do you do when they choose this? Do you just tell them like sorry, page not available?
Phil, who actually uses the term hardware wallet? We got to change this to signing device. Come on, Chris. So, which signing device do you like to use?
Okay.
You know?
For the record, scroll back. I distinctively remember on the show.
How do I scroll
hardware
back?
signer, but you have to pick people up where they are, and most people still call them hardware wallets. I fully agree. They're hardware signing devices. They are not wallets, but yes. So you're on the webpage now. We insure right now the Bitbox, the Trezor, the Ledger. We are directly integrated, embedded in the Bitbox. So you can have the Bitbox companion app where I have my Bitbox here. There you go. If you have that in-house, you can just click 2 buttons and you can insure it. It costs 0.3% of the stack per year. So you can insure up to 100,000 euros. 1 Bitcoin right now, when we launched, it was like 4 Bitcoin. You can insure that for like less than $300 a year. And that insures you against the $5 wrench attack, against fire, water damage, whatever, if your hardware wallet breaks. But if somebody, like, that is the reason why we need this, in my opinion. I'm like not an exposed person, but people assume that I have Bitcoin. I go to conferences. I have all these different like multi-sigs, time block setups, all these things. I can't insure myself or protect myself against physical threats. And if somebody kicks my door in and threatens me or somebody I love, I want to be able to give something up. And for that scenario, insurance is great, because if like I can say, here, this hardware signer, take it. There's 100 grand out there. Fuck off now. That is enough reason, worth the time of the thief. He knows the longer he stays, the likelihood he gets caught is like increasing. So he will leave me unharmed. And that is why Bitsurance as a product exists. It's just like another piece, to defend your Bitcoin.
The $5 wrench attack. Sorry, I was just as you're explaining that, I'm just thinking, I'm like, yep, that's true, right? The decoy
This guy
wallet
seems kind of cool for an insurance salesman.
I know, right? I'm not gonna lie, but like between him and Rob, I'm just like, damn, these guys are good. In all fairness,
I have better hair.
They both know that it's like when you're doing the sales pitch, they go,
you do have better hair, and I'm saying that from as a bald guy.
While we do the sales pitch, it's a similar style. I like it. So
So
but,
I mean,
guys,
both of these
if you
guys.
look at the camera too much, if you look at the camera a bit too square on and smile, it's a bit weird. So like
No, again, I love Rob. I think it's fantastic what he's doing. I did like the beta test with Anchor Vault, and he is targeting a different set of customers. He's targeting he's insuring up to $100 million. Requirement is to use this mini script wallet where you have velocity. I can only spend so much during this amount. There's a cooldown period. All these things, super smart. Like if you look at the bell curve, Anchorwatch definitely is the Galaxy brain. I'm on the ADIQ side. I say like all I need is a hardware wallet with a secure element, and you can insure. That's why I only go up to 100,000 euros. So you don't have to sign anything. Like you don't have to give me any private keys. Like you just give me an XPub, say this is the wallet I want to insure, and it's insured up to this amount. If you go over, I can only give you this much. If you're under, you're only getting back exactly what you had on there. But I think it's like there if there's one person that takes their coins into custody because he has this added advantage of having insurance, like that's worth it. Like if you have your coins on FTX, they are fucking insured, and that's why a lot of people do it. And then they get burned when like Sam Bankman-Fried bites and like a cucumber and like rugs them. And in self-custody to have insurance, that is unheard of. Like we were the first to do this because household insurance does not cover immaterial goods. Like it covers everything. If you like the saying, like if you remove the roof and you flip your house or your apartment upside down, everything that falls out, that is covered. But like immaterial stuff, like your Bitcoin would not be covered. And we have the first policy to also cover the Bitcoin. And this is not for your generational wealth. It is not for the stuff that is like time locked or geographically distributed on a multi-sig. This is just like for your day-to-day spending single sig that you have in your house and all these different scenarios that could happen. Like, again, I sell steel wallets too. And if the house burns down or if there's a flood, maybe I do not find my backup. And in that case, I would also be insured in that sense.
So let me ask you this, in terms of the insuring the Bitcoin. So is it actually that they get Bitcoin back, or they get in your case, the dollar amount or some dollar amount frozen in time, so to speak, right?
Currently, at the
nobody
moment,
can ever, yeah.
we don't have a Bitcoin balance. I really want to.
No, it's
but,
okay.
like,
I had the same
believe
question
me,
for Rob
we
last
had-
week too. It's so like
we had so many fucking conversations, and Rob will be back me up on that.
yeah.
Like Bitcoin before the ETFs was a different conversation with insurers. They're much more open to it now. So like, thank you, Larry Fink, and all your fiat playing games. Like we will reimburse you the euro amount, and then you can buy the Bitcoin at spot price again. Like there will be like a spread. Like I can't right now reimburse you in Bitcoin. However, if like they're stolen, and like in Germany we have like over 50% like rate of recovering them, like because an intruder might not be that savvy, might not like forever like have those Bitcoin in his possession. He might make a mistake, and if they are recovered legally, you can have those Bitcoin back. Like in the sense, when we pay you out, those Bitcoin become our ownership, and you get the fiat. And then if they are recovered in the future, we are legally obligated to offer them back to you. So this might be 10 years from now, and you get them back. All you have to do is pay back the insurance sum to get those Bitcoin. And I think like 5 years from now, this will be a very good deal. So that is the best. Like I talk to a lot of insurers, and like my goal is to accept and pay Bitcoin out. But that is a long process.
No, I appreciate it. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, because, you know, like these are the kind of questions that Bitcoiners ultimately have. And especially like, look, you may not get that question from somebody who just wants exposure to Bitcoin, but doesn't really understand it. But real hodlers, right? Like they're going to, at the end of the day, we all just want access to Bitcoin, right? So we want our Bitcoin, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. So, all right, we're going to wrap up the segment, but before we do, how do people find you? Where do they find you? Where do they find Seedor? Where do they find Bitinsurance? And keep in mind, all of this stuff is going to be in the show notes, guys.
Yeah, just go in the show notes, seedor.io, get a Steel wallet, or bitsurance.eu. There you can have an insurance if you're in Germany. I don't know what your target audience, how many percent is German right now, but we are working on expanded coverage.
Two guests next week are coming from Berlin. Sorry, I say coming from Berlin. They'll be in Berlin when they're doing the show. So we have some German audience apparently.
Yeah, I mean, my business partner in Bitsurance, Rutzal, he's from Berlin. He works as an open subscription.
We know Rutzal, of course. He knows us. He knows me.
Yeah,
I mean,
a few weeks ago.
I used to do the lightning. I used to do the lightning roundtables for him and Open Noms and Frankie and like a few of the other guys that worked on the Raspy Blitz project every month. Sorry, continue. You were supposed to be shilling your
Open
stuff.
Noms, love him too. I was at my
He's
first
awesome.
Hungarian conference this year, and like he was there too, and that was like amazing. It was an amazing pleb conference. Anyways, go to my Twitter page at Coinjoined if you are into cringe memes. That's it.
Only cringe memes? Okay, all right, that's cool. But I'm sure that not all the memes are cringe. I have a feeling they're not all cringe. Exclusive. Okay, fine. Exclusive cringe memes, guys. That's right. Coinjoined Chris. That's gonna do it for the Fireside chat, and we are gonna move it on over to REKT. I already got shit from Walton for deciding to show this for REKT, even though it is truly REKT. He's not wrong. Shouldn't be amplifying this, but at the same time, I've seen so much, and I can't stop myself. The Hailey Welch stuff, right? The Haktua crap. So here you go. Launching December 4th. She's got a Solana shitcoin. Yeah. I think the arc of this character ends very abruptly with the shitcoin rug pull, and I think it's just. I'm not going to say that it wasn't expected. Guys, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, she is hanging out with the Jake Paul, Logan Paul crowd. I think they fund her podcast, so it was inevitable. Like, we thought she was different, but I mean, she had the longest 15 minutes of her time.
Back up. What do you mean? We thought she was different. This is some famous whore. What are you talking about?
She was like posting like some Bitcoin pictures, quote tweeting Sailor. Said, "Oh, maybe she's not doing what we all expected her to do, because again, she has the longest 15 minutes of all time." Like I thought
Dude,
right
go look who
before, like,
Sailor follows on Instagram. I don't have Instagram, but I heard about this. Sailor basically exclusively follows like women in their early 20s on Instagram. So like she's
so you have to change my
she's so
gender and
fucking
my
lit
name.
though, dude.
Let's say that.
Come on.
Okay, well, so
Anyways.
Walton doesn't agree with your opinion, but yeah, and definitely, like, I mean, to me, the writing was on the wall just by the original way that she became famous, and again, right, like, it's like that's not really quote unquote within her control. Indeed, some people who have tinfoil hats will argue that that is incorrect, and that's perfectly fine, right? We're all entitled to our opinions, but I just. It was all just a bunch of really cringy engagements, and I think the arc of this character ends much sooner than later, and it becomes very abrupt. Anyways, unless you have one last thing to say, moving on.
No, looking forward to the end of those 15
Yeah,
minutes.
exactly. But you're right. The 15 minutes, I've never seen 15 minutes last so long, and I think it's kind of a testament to how many male simps there are on the internet. And around the world, because yeah, this is just cringe as fuck.
I think that's why Ethereum still exists, but like it's all the like incels can like pay the OnlyFans thoughts is like they do it with Ethereum. I think
You have to see they're making dude, they're making all these Vitalik memes where he's all like buff and shit, and it's like, you guys are delusional.
I found out the other day that Sylvester Stallone now has like an extensive NFT thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Like they literally just sold like NFTs to all the like celebrities as a way of printing money. Like it's basically the lowest cost merch you can do. It's quite it's clever pitch.
I heard he got punched in the. I heard he got punched in the head for real during those Rocky movies, so that might explain some. Anyway, okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
CTE, NFT, same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so moving on. We're talking about TD and NFT. Well, here comes some REKT. Yeah. But I got to shout out to Predator though, because his timing is just absolutely impeccable. Okay, so guys, I'm going to do my best to explain what happened with this Swan thing. So first, there was this Swan email, okay, that went out, and there was also this tweet, right, from Swan, right here, right, and it goes on to explain Fortress changed Swan personal and entity accounts, and they charged the personal and entity accounts an admin fee for exiting to new platforms. So it would seem that customers of Swan were charged because Swan is
Corey
moving.
made a mistake and the customers paid.
Well, hold on, yeah, no, but hold on, because as you saw, it gets a little weirder, right? Because then Fortress released a statement essentially explaining that Fortress recently made the decision to step away from providing custodial and infrastructure services to Swan. So now the other party is claiming that they have separated. Okay, so we're following this along right now. Okay. And then after that, essentially, we have Fortress putting out another email here saying that Fortress is aware of a potentially misleading statement relating to client accounts and wanted to provide an update, and that they're monitoring these communications and will do what they can within their control to ensure you have the most up-to-date and accurate information. But at the same time, it seems that money has been returned, if I understood correctly. Swan put out a tweet saying that money has now been returned by Fortress to the Swan customers, but it is frozen and locked. Okay? So all of this is just absolutely embarrassing and cringe. I don't even know. I like, honestly, I don't even know what to say, but one thing that I can say, regardless of who is responsible, the customer is the one who is totally getting screwed. Guys, what are your thoughts on what happened? We'll start off with Chris, and then we'll finish it up with Walton before we move on to our last REKT.
Yeah. So I know people at Swan, like a few, like Steven, love them.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
I always recommend people take your fucking shit in self-custody, and to break a lance for Swan, they claim 70% of their customers do that. But there are, of course, people that have their Roth IRA, whatever, like the thing that they can't do in self-custody, and they are now like paying the price, and like all these different custodians. Like, I don't know, custodians suck, and I don't think a customer should pay that. And I don't think like $125 per customer is too much to ask for Swan to foot that bill. But I don't know. I don't know not much about the situation to have like a fully formed opinion. But I want to see Sailor get wrecked too with Coinbase. So like I'm all for like drama.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Before we go to Walton, though, about this, I also want to add that what I also found strange was that in the initial messaging from Swan, they explained that, you know, of course, Swan has your back, and that they would be essentially covering up to $250 of transaction fees in the future, right? For a period of, I think it was 6 months or something like that. But either way, it just seems like it's like, well, wait a second, I've already given you my business. Like, why do I now have to go and do more transactions in order to get back what is actually already mine that some third-party entity has decided to take away from me? Like, this just, it really seems shitty. Like, I can't explain it any other way. I don't even care who's responsible. It just seems shitty. And I guess for me, you know, I kind of wonder, would all of this been avoided if Swan had their own full, you know, vertical integration, right? Their own vertical stack where they were their own custodian, right?
Oh no, it's good to have things separate, Phil, because apparently that
Is
makes
it?
things more reliable. That's what Corey says, right?
Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah, I think River has a more sustainable business model in that they have everything like built by themselves in-house. But the best business model is get a hardware signer and, you know, just be your own thing. Like, who the fuck needs a custodian? Like, it's not gold. You don't need like bars. You don't need like guards.
Institutions do. So therefore, if you're Coinbase, if you're BitGo, if you're Fidelity, these kind of separated custodians and brokers, it's very common, because TradFi expects this sort of thing. But the average person doesn't. To the average person, this is a whole inconvenience, and apparently it's also not, you know, less risk. Because it seems to keep happening. My only thought here is like, there's this concept, right, that if you have like a sand, right, you can have a pile of grains of sand, but like, how few grains do you need to have in order for it to be a pile? On a similar question, how many Black Swan events can you have before they're no longer Black Swan events?
That's a good point, right? That is a very good point, man.
We should ask Nassim Taleb.
Yeah, we'll ask him.
Guy.
Yeah, definitely fuck that guy. He's down so bad right now. Let's actually, you know what? I feel like we've had moments of silence for him before.
Well, apparently. Olive Oil's doing really well, no?
No, and neither is his BSV. But let's have a moment of silence for Nassim Taleb being completely fucking wrecked. Okay, selling his Bitcoin at 47K like 3 years ago or something like that, proclaiming that it was dead, talking shit about it, and just being completely wrong. And I just want to point out, people pay almost $8,000 a week to hear this joker talk about risk. Okay, just saying. Okay, this is why I hate people that are self-proclaimed experts. Okay, like that's like, it doesn't mean knower of things. It should just mean capable of using the tools and researching of things. But anyways, hey, all right, not going on.
$8,000 buys you 8 million Satoshi. I think that's a great deal.
I think it's a wonderful deal. I think it's better. You know what? You're going to learn more mitigating risk doing that than you will going to one of his courses listening to his made-up words that don't exist. Okay,
so a minute of silence for Nassim and Peter Saihan?
We're not even going to the minute of silence. He already got it. Me saying it was the silence.
Phil, if you invest in olive oil, like you could like triple your money over the last couple years. I mean, that's you know, it could be worse.
He's doing so
Bitcoin
well.
Doesn't go rancid.
He's doing so well. Okay, all right. Our last REKT, and then we're going to move on to the Hopium. Here we go. Guys, I mean, as if I had to tell you that Craig Wright is wrecked. And so at this point, guys, he uses this account on Twitter called like CS Taminga, and it's all just chat GPT. and AI, and it's fucking hilarious. All the cell phones. So yeah, COPA versus CSW, breaking news. The Court of Appeal has rejected CSW's application to appeal. And guys, just to point out, okay, the application was rejected on many different for many different reasons, but one of them was citing the Chat GPT falsehoods, the use of AI. So yeah, he is. He is just totally down bad. That does not stop though the BSV mental illness crowd from doing mental gymnastics and essentially thinking that he is somehow going to what is it now at this point? BSV is going to become the real Bitcoin. I guess like the caterpillar to a butterfly. I guess it just morphs.
I mean, something IPv6, and they will own the BTC ticker because reasons, and yeah. But if you leave not only ChatGPT like text in your filing, but also the prompt of that text, like, I mean, what do you expect?
No.
Like, I read like his excuse to not stand trial in person was like he wants to spend Christmas in Indonesia. Like,
well,
it didn't hold up.
I mean,
his excuse is always he's too fake and gay, right? Like that's basically it. Like every single time in a different wording.
He's working on casinos in Singapore, yes. So that's why he can't show up to trial.
He's too autistic to give testimony.
Yeah,
like he's giving autists a very bad name. Like stop, come on, Craig, come on.
It's just so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. All right, guys. Yeah, that's right. All those things are totally wrecked. That does it for REKT. And
it's funny how you end it with like embarrassing. Like the first bit of Hopium, like I think like is got a little embarrassment in there.
Okay,
so, beautiful, okay. Beautiful film.
No problem, guys. That's gonna wrap up REKT, and we are gonna move it on over to the Hopium.
The Hopium.
I was afraid you weren't gonna do it.
I know, and then like I left it super late. I did the Borat, it's like this suit is black. Welcome back to Hopium, where I have a couple of stories for you this week. Of course, we have some price predictions, some frothy tweets. The first from Samson Mao, who says, I just got off the phone with someone mentioned in the Bitcoin white paper. He was super bullish and thinks things are accelerating faster than ever. He thinks we might even see 7-figure at BTC next year. A little sneak there, because at BTC is the BTC Times, which is a media organization owned by Samson Mao, if you didn't know. You're probably not ready for what's coming. Plan accordingly. Well, this person mentioned in the Bitcoin white paper is of course Adam Back, both Samson Mao and Adam Back being part of the Bitfinex empire. As per usual, crazy price predictions seem to come from those with exchange ties. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Chris, please go first.
I mean, it could have been Wei Dai. He's also alive. He's also mentioned. I don't know. Like, I mean, he has been always talking about Omega candles, and I don't. Again, as mentioned before, I don't care about price, but it brings people to Bitcoin, and I hope they stay for the right reasons and not just price. So I'm fine with it. Like, but yeah.
Let me show you the rest. So then someone commented saying, I had to do a double take. I thought this tweet was from Dennis Porter.
Yeah, right.
Samson's response was great minds. So,
what? It can't be. It could not have been from Dennis, because we didn't pay 3 Bitcoin to.
Yeah, and it's also not an announcement of an announcement of an announcement.
I mean, look, if the great minds are saying that, we're getting 7-figure Bitcoin, might even get 7-figure Bitcoin next year, even though, Samson said it was going to be like 100 days till 7-figure Bitcoin, whatever.
Has he ever spoken to Dennis Porter?
He said it was going to be weeks in Q1.
Yeah. I mean, my take to thinking alike, it's not great minds, but if 2 people think the same thing, one is redundant. So we only need one.
That's a good point. That's actually a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
Fools often agree, or something like this, like something like that.
Well, I mean, also he was making these bold predictions, 2 cycles ago, last cycle. Like we're waiting on these Omega candles, right? Are like It's that, it's that meme of the old man, right, with the walker, and the girl is like, okay, grandpa, come back to bed. It's like the Omega candle's coming this cycle. It's like, okay, grandpa.
Quotation.
Back to bed.
The quotation is that great minds think alike, but fools rarely differ. And I think here we have some fools.
I'm so sorry.
Not,
I'm so
not
sorry,
differing.
Walton.
Oh my God, he has
Oh my
one. He has
God.
an Omega candle. He has an. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me grab a screenshot of that while you hold it up, because why not, right? Let's yeah, we're gonna do it, Walton. Hold on. Keep holding that up, Chris. We're gonna take a screenshot. Yeah, I see it. Hold on. Yeah, I want that for sure. You know why? Because we're gonna put that in the thumbnail.
Yeah. I will get all the hate messages from Walton now.
Of course.
I deserve it.
But it's okay. It's everything. Just remember, everything is for the clicks and views.
Yes.
Nothing else matters. Did you click? Yes. Did you view? Yes. Excellent. Anyways.
How do those people show up in statistics that watch it ironically?
So to speak.
The same.
All right.
That's right.
I have one more thing, and then we're good. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. Up next, I have one more story for you, and I think this is really gonna mean that like we are actually gonna get this million dollar price appreciation, and the reason is because someone translated the white paper for the illiterate folk that are Generation Z. So I'm gonna share this. An excerpt from this document with you, and I will read it aloud. Bitcoin, a homie-to-homie digital cash vibe. Satoshi the Goat Nakamoto. Abstract. Yo, fam, ever wish you could just send cash to your crew without any bank drama or middleman vibes? Digital signatures are sick, but if you're needing a trusted third party to stop double spending, that's just sus. We've got a GOAT solution for this mess using a homie-to-homie network. Here's the tea. We timestamp transactions by hashing them into an endless chain of proof of work, creating this record that's locked down tight. You got to redo all the proof of work to mess with it. The longest chain isn't just the ultimate proof of what went down, it's also proof that it came from the most CPU power flex. As long as the majority of CPU power is with the legit squad and not some shady crew trying to wreck things, they'll keep the chain lit and outpace the attackers. The network is mad chill. With minimal structure, messages get broadcasted on a best effort basis, and nodes can dip in and out whenever they want. They just vibe with the longest proof of work chain to stay on track. Phil, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon, bro.
Dude, I don't even know what to say. I honestly have no idea what to say. But for those people who realize that Idiocracy is becoming a documentary and is no longer a science fiction comedy, that edit to the white paper, I think, is case in point. Yeah.
I like Satoshis.
Yes, exactly right. Whoa, you like Satoshis and sex? We should hang out. That's the next iteration.
When I saw this homie-to-homie white paper, I was very certain this was written by a white person.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's
wrong with that.
Very
oh
cringe.
God, that thing is holy crap. Good catch though. Good catch. Shire puts out some interesting posts, right?
Dude, there's a whole fucking paper. They did the whole white paper. You can look this up. It's like bitcoinforgenz.org or something.
But let me ask you this though. Do you actually think, because look, I was not understanding everything till he said proof of work, and I'm like, wait a second, if I understand this, does that mean they don't understand that? Like, because everything else is written in Gen Z speak that makes no sense. I'm kidding. It does make sense. I get it, but I'm just saying, like,
look, they got the whole thing. They got the whole thing. It keeps going. Online cash and shopping usually needs banks or payment apps as the ultimate middleman. While it sort of works, it's super sus because you can't get rid of those trust issues. And it keeps on going. This is beautiful, this document. I think it's gonna we're going to the moon, Phil.
Okay. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say no. It's not like I'm on, I'm on the ride and I'm like, no.
Come on, this is Hopium. Come on, you're meant to quash it because it's nonsense. Stay humble, people.
It is nonsense, but still.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is for everybody, even those mentally feeble people. Let's go.
I don't know if he used goat
No, fuck
the right way, because it's greatest of all time, isn't it? Isn't that what GOAT stands for? Yeah.
Yeah, you're telling me
I
Bitcoin's
feel
not
like
the
this
GOAT?
was like some ChatGPT. Like
Yeah, exactly. The more we dive into this, was this Craig right? Was this Craig? Is this like Craig trying to onboard BSVers? I don't know. All right, there you go. We debunked it, Walton. We're going to zero. We're going to zero. And by the way, actually, speaking of which, you know what? I think it's a good place to say it in the Hopium. But what is the deal with Bitcoiners crying about 90K Bitcoin? What the hell is going on out there? Like, I'm seeing guys like freaking out and like they're like depressed. They're like people are like, I'm going to Thanksgiving and we're not at 100K.
Phil, they all
What is that
committed to
shit?
going. They all committed to being in the audience for like Yellow's shows, thinking that there's only going to be a few more of Yellow's shows. Just like how Yellow thought he'd only do 100 shows and he did like 1,000 so far or whatever. These people that started listening are like, hey, I'm going to listen to the last like 50 shows of Yellow, and now they've been listening to 150, and they're like, for fuck's sake, Bitcoin's at 90K and I still gonna listen to Don't Stop Believing. I stopped believing like 4 months ago, bro. Are you kidding me?
Stop believing.
You stopped believing? Don't stop believing.
Stop believing. I
Hey,
didn't
listen,
stop believing. But,
Yellow wants to stop believing. Just so you know, he's dying to stop believing at this point.
Free ICO Fender. Let's pump it, guys.
That's right. Free him. All right, guys. This is. Are we done for REKT? I mean, sorry for Hopium.
Hopium?
Can't tell the difference.
The line's blurred.
It's because it's all the same, right? Like the don't believe all the Hopium or you will get wrecked, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
That's a good. Actually, you know what? That could be a good title for the show. Don't believe all the Hopium or you'll get wrecked. But yeah, okay. That's gonna wrap it, right? It's gonna wrap it for this week's episode of Pleb Underground. But before we go, Chris, one more time, if you will tell the viewers and listeners where they can find you, how they can bug you, where they can get your stuff.
Yeah, just my family is sick and tired of listening to me talk about Bitcoin. I'm always happy to talk about Bitcoin. Find me on Twitter @Coinjoined. Talk to me about Bitcoin.
Sweet. Absolutely awesome. That's going to be in the show notes. Guys, don't forget to check us out on our audio-only platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. If you want to stream us sats, check us out on fountain.fm. Walton, how do we end this?
Fuckshitcoins.com. We love you all. See you next week.
Peace.
More toxic than the most toxic Bitcoin maxi ever. They said he's more toxic than the most toxic Bitcoin maxi ever.